Now, most people, when they're considering Washington, think about Seattle as the place to be. Now, it's great. I'm going to give you some props there. However, there is a lot of really great things happening outside the area that locals absolutely love, that give you more space, better value, and wonderful outdoor living lifestyle.
So today we're going to focus on the top 5 communities south of Seattle. So we are focusing south of Seattle because personally we have lived north and south, and we know that it's better down here.
It really is. I know a lot of people are going to try to seduce you north of Seattle. However, the convenience, affordability, and quality of life really goes unmatched.
We'll break down the vibe, home prices, who's a perfect fit, pros and cons, so that you understand everything there is to know about these communities so you can decide which one is best for you.
We're Joe and Charity. We're local realtors, and we help people every week, just like you who are considering moving to the Northwest, find the perfect spot. So if you've got questions about this and want to know more, feel free to reach out to us on the number below, and we'd love to talk more with you about any questions you might have about South Sound living.
So whether you're looking for suburban charm, waterfront living, or that perfect small town feel, we know there's a spot for you south of Seattle. So let's take a look, and we'll start with number 5.
Number 5 on our list is going to be Puyallup. It is perfect for suburban living. It's 10 minutes east of Tacoma and about 35 minutes up to Seattle. So it's very conveniently located and really good access to the freeway.
The vibe of Puyallup is going to feel very suburban. It's definitely a suburb of Tacoma, and then of course it's a suburb of Seattle. But along with that suburban feel, you're also going to feel the agricultural roots. So this town was formed around agriculture back in the day, hops originally, and now they're known for berries and flowers. It really has that small town family feel to it where people get to know their neighbors, and there's a vibe that just resonates throughout it, that this is just a place that everybody likes to be. One of the other defining factors of Puyallup is it hosts the Washington State Fair. Now, usually when you think of fairs, you think of, all the counties have their own fair, but this isn't the county fair. This is the Washington State Fair, and there's over 1 million people that come to it every year. It is really big, and besides that, because they have this fantastic facility, they are hosting events all year long. And don't even want to have to think about if there's going to be something to do, then Puyallup's a really great place for you.
Absolutely. And when you're talking about commuters, there is a Sounders train that goes directly into Seattle. So it's got a lot of things going on for it that are quite fantastic. Of course, you have your outdoor lovers. You have access to Mount Rainier. Amazing views of Mount Rainier, incidentally, as well. A lot of other outdoor activities, hiking along the river and such. So you've got a lot of things going on for you if that's the quality of life you're looking for.
So let's give a little bit of pros and cons here. The pros are going to be a lot of the things that we mentioned already: a community feel, small town vibe, great schools, wonderful access to the outdoors. There are just a couple cons.
One of the cons is a lot of the South Hill part of Puyallup has one main in-way and outway, and that is Meridian. And that thing can get a little hectic, a little backed up. So if commute is going to be a part of your future, you're going to want to know that, because backup times do happen and traffic's a little bit jammed at times.
Yeah, and you would probably want to live closer to the freeways so that you don't have to deal with that Meridian traffic. Another con is it is definitely suburban feel. So if you want more of an urban lifestyle, this is going to be the place for you. Nightlife, museums, theaters, all those kind of things. It's not very far. It's over to Tacoma. But if you want that to be a part of your everyday living, this isn't going to be the place. It's definitely a driving place, unless you live really close to downtown.
What are the home prices, you might be asking? Well, it's a good question. Basically, it's going to be around $550 to $650, and it could go up from there for sure. That would at least get you into the community. There are condos that are going to be a little less expensive than that. It just depends on what's important to you in your next home.
Puyallup is known for its expansive growth in the HOA-style communities. So part of the reason why there is a backup on Meridian is because there's just more and more and more homes going in, which means more opportunities for you and anybody else who live there.
Yeah.
Those are going to be more of the style. Of course, you've got homes dating all the way back to the early 1900s, and those are like by the downtown area. And then you've got brand new homes, and like Joe said, about that price range, but you can definitely go up and you can definitely spend less.
So Puyallup has a wonderful suburban feel, but if you're looking for maybe like a capital city vibe with a really kind of quirky, charming arts culture, well, then the next one might be just for you.
Coming in at number 4 is Olympia, and Olympia is a great city. It's 60 miles south of Seattle. So of all the ones we're talking about today, it's the furthest south, but it's worth it if you are not commuting to Seattle very often. Olympia is in Thurston County, which is the county right below Pierce County.
Now, the vibe of Olympia is the capital city. It's got a little political edge to it, which is great. We've talked about this in other videos, how we're kind of purple. Even though we're in a blue state, we have a combination combination of both red and blue together, and I think it's really wonderful. It's got an artsy feel to it. For example, this past weekend, we had the Procession of the Species, which is really fun, both art walk and people dress up in costumes, and it's a really fun event for all the family and any friends that are coming into the community. It also has this little waterfront harbor type of feel. It's just unique. So you got to at least check it out, even if you're just visiting the Northwest, because the vibe is legit.
Yeah, the vibe is great. And along with that artsy side of things, it also has a very earthy feel, and the environment is really important. So if you feel yourself leaning towards the artsy, earthy vibe, then this is definitely a place that you would want to be. Others who are really going to love living in Olympia are going to be people that are connected to the state capitol, obviously. Looking for a job in government, this is going to be the place for you. In fact, 30% of people who live here are working for the government. So it's a good place to be if you're looking for a good, stable job. In addition to that, people who are seeking a small town vibe are going to love it here, and those who are outdoor enthusiasts, because there is so much outdoor opportunity in all directions from Olympia.
So the pros of living here is outdoor recreational activity. You are really wonderfully located, like I said, 60 miles south of Seattle. You could jump out to the Olympic Peninsula very easily. You could head to Mount Rainier. You could get on the water, Puget Sound. There are a plethora of lakes around here, as well as a lot of little hiking trails that are within the city or within this tri-city area of Olympia, Lacey, and Tumwater. It's really fantastic for those type of people.
It also has a really walkable downtown with great restaurants and boutiques and shops. In fact, last weekend when we were wandering around during the Procession of the Species, we got to stop into many of the shops that we hadn't even been into before. And there's some awesome, fun, quirky things. And that's just an example of one of them. We have great vintage shops and bookstores, and just perfect for wandering around. And that downtown is right on the water, so you can wander around in the shops, and then you can wander around on the boardwalk. Then you can go wander around Capitol Lake with the view of the Capitol. It's beautiful.
Now, of course, one of the big cons is if you have to go up into Seattle, it is a longer commute. If that's something that is on your radar of needing to work there and then can be back, it's going to be a bugger, no question about it. Basically consider about an hour and a half during rush hour times, and sometimes that's even a little bit longer. So please be aware.
But if you don't have to go very often, then it might be worth it to you to live here in Olympia. There are a couple commute options that are, if you just don't want to drive your own car, you can take the bus, which is a couple hours, that comes right out of Olympia. You can also take the Sounder train, but you have to drive up to Lakewood first and then take it from there. And from there, it's about an hour. And I do know people that do that when they just have to work in Seattle a couple days a month, and it works out really perfectly for them. And they actually chose to move from Seattle down to Olympia just because the quality of living is so much better here and the affordability.
And that leads us to what type of home could you expect to afford here? Now, the price point in Olympia is going to vary a little bit, but expect to pay somewhere between $500,000 and $650,000 to get yourself into a home. There are condos cheaper than that. There are some surrounding areas of Olympia that are less expensive than that. But as a starting point or kind of a mid-range, that's what to expect. Obviously, we can go well up over $1 million, especially when you get on the water. And that's what's really fantastic, incidentally, is if you do want to get on the water or have some type of very good water view home, we have a lot of those at very affordable prices, especially compared to Seattle.
Yeah, and even compared to the other areas that we're mentioning today, this is the place where you can get waterfront living for the most affordable price.
100% true. But you might be thinking to yourself, you know what, small town charm, all those things you mentioned to me, I like it, I would rather visit, and I'd rather live in something that has a little bit more buzz, a little bit more going on, a little bit more urban feel. Well, our number 3 on the list is going to satisfy that.
So number 3 on the list is North Tacoma. And North Tacoma is going to encompass a lot of neighborhoods. We've got Stadium District, Proctor District, Point Ruston, we've got Old Town, and we've got North Slope. There are so many great areas in North Tacoma. And these areas, like Joe said, are going to get you closer to that urban center, really feeling like you are part of the city.
Yeah. So this is about 30 to 35 minutes south of Seattle, and there are a lot of people who choose to live here because of the affordability versus Seattle. Having a lot of the same access points to Seattle, very, very convenient, and also you have a really wonderful downtown vibe in Tacoma itself.
That urban center of Tacoma gets you a lot of things, the most out of any of the areas that we're talking about. They have a wonderful museum district with 5 different museums, and nearby they have a theater district, and so there's performances going on all the time. You've got the waterfront that goes all along this area of town on Ruston Way. And so you can get out and bike and rollerblade and walk to your heart's content right along the water. It is so beautiful. And downtown is just really close to all these neighborhoods. So you can get down there on the Link rail system, and that's free, and you can just back and forth and get to all those really great spots. So this is, if you want a lot more going on, then this is definitely the spot for you. So besides just those who want an urban feel, the other people that love living here are professionals, because obviously Tacoma is the next biggest city to Seattle. So you have a lot of opportunities for work and job related reasons for living here. And then, of course, those who want to be as close as they can to Seattle in the biggest city possible. That's another reason why people choose to live here.
So some of the pros of living in this community is a strong historic sense of community. Dates back to the early settlers in this community on the water, which is fantastic. And it's also very walkable to where you can get to restaurants, nightlife, whatever you might want, and parks and recreational areas as well. So it's very, very convenient. But of course, there are going to be some cons. One of the cons is it's a little bit more expensive. It's more expensive than Olympia for sure, and it's going to be more expensive than Puyallup. So if you're looking for that, just expect to pay a little bit more. Of course, there's another con that goes along with a larger city, and that is population density. So you will feel that. That's a little bit more urban, obviously, lots more people that are there. And so just expect that as well if you're looking for that in the community.
So next you're thinking, well, what kind of house can I get here and what can I afford? This area, as we mentioned, has a lot of historic homes. They are gorgeous, beautiful homes. In fact, when we're helping clients find homes in this area, we absolutely love going to look at them because they're so great and so different. You're going to be in the price points of mainly around $600,000 and up. You can get a condo for a little bit less, but a lot of the condos have water views, so they end up being a little bit more. And there are huge historic homes that are, 4, 5, 6, 7,000 square feet. And there are a lot of homes that haven't been remodeled, which you can get for a more affordable price. And then there are a lot of homes that have been beautifully remodeled. So wherever you land in that, you will be able to find something. If you go a little bit further to the west of this North Tacoma area, you're going to have homes that were built more mid-century, and then pockets of newer homes as well. So they're not all ancient, and you'll get some different variations of style. So there are plenty of opportunities to see the water, see the beauty, and also live in this wonderful urbanized center.
Now you might be thinking to yourself, gosh, that's pretty close to what I'm looking for, but what if it was something close to that? Maybe just a touch more laid back and also with some really great top-rated schools? Well, you're in luck, because coming in number 2 is University Place.
University Place is about 40 miles from Seattle, so very close in proximity as well. It really seems like it's almost part of Tacoma because it is just right up against it on the west side, but it is its own city and it's got a lot going on for it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the vibe of UP is a little bit more laid back, kind of family friendly, a little bit of that suburban feel right next door to Tacoma. So if that's what you're looking for, just a touch laid back, but with all the conveniences nearby, this might be the place.
Yeah, the people who really love living here, obviously, because they have top-rated schools, are going to be families. But people who want to be close to Tacoma and then don't necessarily want to be in the busyness of that, they're going to love living here. They also have great mid-century modern homes in this area. So if that's something that you're into, you're going to love that. And this is the location for Whole Foods. So if those places are top on your list, then this is an area that you're going to love as well.
Now, the pros of this community is the suburban lifestyle, really quiet in comparison to other larger cities or cities surrounding it. It does have some great waterfront access, some really nice hikes that are along the water. It's absolutely fantastic.
On the con side, it's just not very big. It's a smaller city and it's not urban. It's suburban, and it also has higher taxes because you got those good schools that usually comes with higher taxes. A few things that you may be able to overlook if all the rest of these pros really fit you.
So you're thinking to your great, now what type of home can I afford in that area? Well, basically the price point is going to be around $700,000 and going up from there. There are some condos in the area that are going to be a little bit less than that, but truly you're going to be spending around that $700,000 mark. I was just looking at one this morning, which was a delightful charmer, actually on the water, which doesn't happen very often in this community, and it was around $1 million. Just kind of give you a little bit of expectations of what you could maybe find.
In the upper price point, you can also find homes near Chambers Bay Golf Course. So if you're looking for an area to move to where you're close to very, very quality golf course, then this is definitely the spot for you as well.
You might be thinking to yourself, okay, I like that. I like the suburban feel. I like its close proximity. But is there any way I could get maybe just a little bit further and have my own unique community? Well, you're in luck, because right across the bridge, Tacoma Narrows Bridge, is Gig Harbor, and that comes in as the #1 place to live south of Seattle.
Gig Harbor is about 45 miles from Seattle, so still conveniently located, and it is a harbor community in Pierce County. It has the name harbor in it, so you're thinking, of course, but it is all centered around the harbor. It is a gorgeous little community.
Yeah, and the vibe of Gig Harbor is upscale. I would say business casual with an asterisk, meaning you're going up a little bit. It's on the water, it's very charming. You could get out on your boat, you could get out kayak, but very much that coastal harbor vibe.
So those who love living here, I think everyone, this is our spot that we would live in if we didn't live in Olympia. We love it in Gig Harbor. That's why it's our #1 spot. So pretty much, I don't know why you wouldn't like living here. Those kind of people love it. People who love the trees and the green space around them, because Gig Harbor has done a really good job of leaving a lot of the trees. So it doesn't feel like a sprawl at all. It feels like you are nestled in all of the trees. Others who like it are those who like to get back to Tacoma easily, but not be part of Tacoma. So man, it's the spot. So obviously everything I've been saying has been pros, but on top of that, you've got a really safe community, and that usually is on the top of most people's list. So the pros are up there. Joe's gonna share a couple cons.
Just a couple. One of them is tolls across the bridge. So if you're needing to get into Tacoma, or if you're commuting up to Seattle, expect to pay for that. Not only that, the cost of living overall is going to be a little bit higher for sure. So you get what you pay for in that community. However, most people are willing to pay that price. Another con would be is there's not a lot of industry there. So if you're wanting to have a job in the community, probably you're going to be starting your own business or working for one of the local companies. Other than that, you're probably going to be commuting or telecommuting with your job.
So if we've convinced you that this is #1, then you probably want to know what kind of house can you get and what's it going to cost you. About $850,000 is, I'd say, about the average or the medium price point. You can get less. There are plenty of condos. A lot of those have water views as well, and you can definitely spend more. There are a plethora of beautiful water view and waterfront homes, and they are millions. You can get them with a view for a little bit over $1 million, but you're definitely going to have the opportunity to spend more if you'd like to.
Up into the highest price point that I've seen as of recent is about $12.5 million on the water. And granted, that's a 7,000 square foot mansion, but hey, if you're interested in that, please give me a call. I'd be more than happy to give you a tour.
If you're looking to get into the neighborhood at a lower price point, then you may be buying something that has not been remodeled yet. There's some older homes in the area that are more mid-century era, and you can find one of those probably more in the upper 6s to low 7s, so it's definitely possible.
Yeah, and the further away you are from the downtown harbor area, some of those homes are going to be a little bit more affordable, especially as you start to move towards what's called the Kitsap Peninsula.
Exploring all of these areas just south of Seattle gives you an opportunity to see just how diverse your options are. Whether you're thinking about moving to Puyallup, Olympia, North Tacoma, University Place, or Gig Harbor, we know that making that decision can be complex. We specialize in helping people find their perfect spot. So reach out to us. We've made it easy for you. It's on the number below. Call, text us, or email us, and we will help you find the spot that is just right for you. So if this video got you thinking, hey, I might actually want to live in the South Sound region and I'd love to know more, then keep watching, because in the next video, we go more in depth on the current prices in all of these areas.